Hello everybody, my name is Eric Epic, also known as Eric the Arty Guy, and welcome to my tutorial on how to draw ab muscles, core muscles, and all that. Before we start, I just want to say thank you so much for watching all the videos. They've been getting, like a decent amount of views for a new YouTube channel. I think one of them got like over 150 views as of the time of me recording. So I'm just amazed that's been like I'm getting these kind of views, so it's awesome. So I want to thank you so much. So anyway, no, getting to ab muscles. So another freehand video, so excuse me if I managed to get things out of frame. So their ab muscles are basically three layers, two of which are visible. One of them isn't. There's basically ab muscles that run straight down, there's ab muscles that go sideways, and there's ab muscles that go diagonally. The ones you can see are the straight down and the diagonal, and the horizontal ones you don't see. And that's because the horizontal ones are the ones closest to your organs, on the inside. The vertical ones are on the outside, and the diagonal ones are squished in the middle, basically, because your abs actually go all around. If it's a top view, they basically go all around your body, and basically what happens is there'll be like a chunk of muscle here, and the rest will just be tendons attaching to basically either your spine or to each other through a tendon. So if we get started, let's get started with abdominis rectoris, I believe it's called. I have not done anatomy in so long, but these are like your six-pack muscles. So basically the anatomy of which looks like this. Basically you're gonna have your rib cage over here, you're gonna have your spine going down here, and you have your pelvis over here. And basically what happens with your pelvis is you have like the two sort of ears coming off, and then you have a bit over here that comes forward, and everything else is pretty much in the back, roughly. So basically your abs start up here, basically at your breastbone, and they kind of fan out like that, go down and attach down. They're very long. They're actually very long muscles. Just find my eraser here. Go for this one then. Where is my eraser? There. So I erase all of this over here. That's how that muscle looks. Basically, there is a small sort of cartilage going down the middle, separating these two, and then depending on your genetics, every person is slightly different. We're going to go with typical 6. You can just block in roughly 6 rounded squares as your ab muscles, and usually at the end it just kind of goes down like this as a whole big shape, and it might come together because the cartilage just ends, so it comes down into one focus. So it comes down into one tendon. So basically, let's just get this round. So that's the first ab muscle. The second ab muscle, we're going to go with the obliques. Those are all the ones you can see. Basically on the side of your body. So how can I best show this? Well, basically they work the same as your ab muscles. We get now a side view. So this is a side view. There is your spinal column, looks a bit like this, and then you get your pelvis down here. Basically your obliques come through this way and attach, become tendons over here. So exactly here, those are your obliques, and basically right there become tendons, and they go under your ab muscles, and they get here. Usually, I don't know, with a lot of muscle people, you see they have like this chunk over here. It's going to be usually relatively flat, and then they branch out into striations over here. And then the innermost ab muscle basically just go sideways. They don't really have muscle belly. It's just really one continuous muscle. Begins and ends at begins at the spine, ends at the front, and goes on both sides. But you don't really need to know that. That's a basic rundown. So yeah, let's get to drawing this on a person. So now if I draw my basic male, so now I'm going to put together some muscles. If you want to see other upper body muscles I'm going to include, which is shoulders and pecs. I do have tutorials for those, so you can go look at them. Basically over here is this is the center part between my collarbones. So that's what like sort of a starting point I like to use. So I'm going to bring that out, and it gets to here. That's where the end of my collarbone is, and that's pretty much where my medial delt will start. I'm going to put lines in here so I know where to put my deltoids. So I'm going to just go ahead and do that. Then I'm going to come just a bit off and do the anterior deltoid, so from the front. And your pec basically comes from the same place where the edge here, so basically it's going to fan out like that, get to the center and come back. It's turning a bit into like how to put together an upper body tutorial, but I'm going to do that on its own. So then what I'm going to put in is the rib cage. You do see this kind of this shape a bit. If you suck in your stomach, you'll see that shape a bit. And then here I'm going to do that, and I'm going to bring in the lats over here. This is also part of the rib cage. This is also part of the serratus muscle. You can see that on very lean individuals such as bodybuilders. Anyway, so we put in the lats now. Not the lats. Lats will be. I can do it next video. Yeah, we put in the abs now. So basically, the center line which we're following is we're going to use that as this center line over here, and just basically put in a 6-pack, 8-pack, 4-pack, whatever you want. Let's go with a 6-pack because that is typical. So what I might even do is just get 3 even chunks and just round it out. And I just like putting the bottom of it honestly, and then a bit on the side. And that's good for abs, you know, letting your imagination do a lot of the work is not bad. Now if you get like really powerful abdomen muscles all together, what happens is your obliques will come out of it, so it won't just go straight down. You might come out and develop a very slight, how do you say, hourglass figure. But that's just basically the muscle, the bottom of the muscle coming up. And the serratus will basically come up from the rib cage over here and just go down like that. And then what you can do, you can just give like a squiggly line to inform that that's a different muscle, and let it come here. This is that V shape that you hear a lot of people talk about. And yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know for the front view. If we look at a view that's maybe slightly more challenging, let's say from the back, sort of back 3/4 of the view. So that's torso is kind of facing away, his head is going to be up here, his body is going to be here, and it's going to be twisting just a tad bit. So that's the front. So essentially, if you're following the front of his body, it would be there. So what we might see in this case, let's see, his arm is coming back over here. So we might see, first of all, well, let me just lock this in just a bit more so I know what I'm doing. Yeah, so what we might see is just a bit of the abs. So we might just inform that shape. See that these like muscle bellies, because they're gonna be nice and round, especially in superheroes. Then what we can do, just gotta hold on to this paper with my elbow. I thought it was gonna slide away. I didn't tape this down ahead of time. Basically, the lat's gonna come down here, and you don't want it to go further than the lats. And make sure to inform the shape as well. So basically, the shape is going like that. So I'm just gonna do that, and basically until it comes down to the lats here. Lats we'll do next time, like I said. And that's all you have to see from that. This is even overkill. This is like drawing every single fiber. That is not necessary. You can definitely get away with, say, just the shape, and then rather just shading that in. For example, that would be be fine. And then here you have basically your lats going down. And then if you know your back anatomy, you know about the Christmas tree. Yeah, but like I said, most people don't even know about this. You know about this if you're a bodybuilder. Even if you're into bodybuilding, yeah, but like, I have never seen comic artists actually, my drawing boards falling down. I've never seen a comic artist actually adapt these muscles. And to be fair, it's usually just cut covered by a cape anyway, most of this, so you just see the abs, and then you can kind of inform the shape a little bit. That's perfectly fine. From the side, basically you do the same thing what we did up here, but this time we're gonna have a gotta hold that again. So basically, we have the chest here, going down to the rib cage, and just pepper that in, bring that up. That's just right, and usually, I don't know, I think 9 times out of 10, you're not going to see it because either A, you really only see it when it's flexed and twisted and you're really trying to, so you're usually not going to see that on a person, but yeah. I hope this was clear for you. I mean, it's a bit complicated. I mean, these are mostly you see a lot, especially when you're drawing superheroes, but you don't really see them every day. That's very rather difficult to get a six-pack unless you're literally my colleague at work who perpetually runs around with a six-pack all the time. It doesn't matter what he does, and I hate that guy. Not really, but seriously. You don't see that often, especially in movie, other than in movies or in drawings. So if you basically just stick to front abs and obliques in like really extreme sort of situations, you want to like basically even if you just get like those top lines, that's more than enough. I've seen people get away with way less, so don't really think about it, but you know that they're there and that's how they're supposed to look like, because I've seen people do, just throw my pencil in the trash bin. I've seen people, for example, they'll have their torso go down like this, for example, come on focus, and then they'll have their abs, they'll know how abs look like, and then they just do something like that, just put so much in, and it's just looks so horrible. I mean, especially the further back you go, when people didn't really classically learn anatomy, basically they just like, they looked at something muscular and they just like, I can draw that. And they didn't really know what they're doing because science wasn't that far along, and neither was art, or at least our understanding of anatomy. But now, people don't really have an excuse to have bad anatomy. You have zero excuse to have bad anatomy nowadays. So partially one of the reasons why I'm doing this is just to inform people, because you know I do have a keen awareness of anatomy. Yeah, as you can see up there, a few anatomy books. But yeah, that's it. I guess I was just thinking I didn't have anything else to say, but yeah. So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, subscribe. Like as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm really happy that people seem to be watching these videos a bit, and I'll see all of you next time. See ya.